outstanding overview of social media. Goes very well with what we've heard this morning, both from Vineet, Malcolm Gladwell, et cetera. First thing I want to say to everybody sitting out there from Southwest Airlines is thank you for our customers and hopefully soon-to-be customers at some point in time here in the United States. We've heard a lot today about social media. We know that the next generation is making decisions more and more based on what their peers and friends and associates on these social media sites are doing. So I just have a question for everybody. Are you in the conversation? Are you in the conversation with your employees? Are you in the conversation with your customers? So as we get going, I just wanted to share a little bit about Southwest and the history of Southwest. Well, as everybody knows, we're based in Dallas, Texas. Well, you do now. Started in 1971, so we're about 40 years old. This was our 40th anniversary. We started with 3 cities in Texas: Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston, and 3 aircraft. Today, after 40 years, Southwest is the largest domestic carrier in the United States. So as we take a look at that, success in an airline is not easy. It's a very difficult business. As you've seen over the last couple years, from the airlines making large profits to no profits at all, it's been very difficult. As such, Southwest has been a unique success story. We've grown from those 3 aircraft that we've talked about. We now operate 550 Boeing 737 aircraft. We've gone from 3 cities in Texas to 72 cities in the United States. In an industry that's collectively lost more money than it's made, Southwest has been unique in that we are now profitable as of the end of 2010 for 38 consecutive years. During those 38 years, we have never had a layoff and we've never had a furlough. So we also take into account that, we haven't talked a little bit about this yet, but bags fly free on Southwest. So we don't charge our customers. We don't like to nickel and dime them. So no bag fees for the first bag, for the second bag, for making changes, for an aisle seat, for a window seat, et cetera. Has this been a risky proposition for us? Absolutely, it's been risky. We take a look at all our competitors announcing how much money they make from added bag fees, fuel surcharges, et cetera, year and year and year. So has it been difficult for us? Absolutely. Have we made the right decision? Well, I think time will tell. But if we take a look at a family going on a vacation, say a family of 4, they can show up at an airport on one of our competitors and pay $400 just to get their bags from where they are to where they're going. Now we're not talking about nickel and diming anymore. That's some real money. So ultimately, our customers are going to tell whether or not we've made the right choices and the right decisions. And if we need to change, we will. Where have we been? A little bit more about the history. Herb Kelleher, one of our founders, likes to say, business is the business of people. And Colleen Barrett, who was our president of the company before she retired a few years ago, is fond of saying, we're in the customer service business, we just happen to fly airplanes. So as we take a look at where Southwest has been and the heritage of Southwest of saying, hey, our employees are first, then come customers, then shareholders, or happy employees lead to happy customers, lead to happy shareholders. We've developed that relationship that has gone from print all the way through into digital now and into social media. So if we take a look at where we've been on social media, in 2006 we started our first blog, Nuts About Southwest. Now it wasn't our first foray because we were also the first airline with a website. And going on from there, in February of 2007, you can take a look at some other stuff we've done. But really interesting is that we started an emerging media group in the 2007-2008 timeframe. And at the last part of 2008, we actually focused some people on nothing but social media. So some of those people are on our communications department. We use Facebook. Yes, this is developed and maintained by our communications department. The design came from marketing and in close relationship with our customer relations team. It is that synergy between all 3 of the teams and being able to work seamlessly that really makes this work for Southwest. Additionally, we have a lot of employees. Our employees like to go become active in the community and like to give back in their community. So they said, well, can we have station pages, fan pages for each of our stations? So today we have about 30 of those. And again, it's really not governed, I shouldn't say governed, it's not written by corporate, it's written by the employees actually at those stations, at 30 of the 72 stations. They provide input. Here are some examples of some of those. Now the interesting thing here is we provide just some guidelines and an outline on the page. The employees themselves, the rest of our employees, have the freedom to go out and make updates, Facebook, et cetera, and do that on their own. So we've actually empowered our employees, not just corporate, but the employees out at the stations who are with our customers every single day to go ahead and participate in these sites. Twitter, I'm sure everybody has heard of Twitter. We talked about I need to go pee a little bit. So Southwest, we have a Twitter page. We'll get to that in just a minute. But we have about 1 million followers right now after just a few years. We're not quite up to the Lady Gaga in 5.7 million. I think she is still, as of today, the #1 followed person on Twitter. But what's interesting is, as an airline, for our Twitter page, you can't really see it up here, we are required through the Department of Transportation to put a disclaimer on this. Why? Because not all the airlines get back to people's tweets on the pages, and that goes with Facebook as well. We at Southwest get back as much as we possibly can, as timely as we can, to every comment, concern that's raised. Because what we're really trying to do is not monitor and all those type of things. It's really to respond and take action when we need to take action. You can often find things that are happening about your company in real time off of Twitter, not just Southwest, but everyone else. So we take those as input to what do we need to do and how do we need to change. Another item around Twitter is we actually put up in a blog post, Gary Kelly, our CEO, a year or two ago, saying, hey, we're thinking about changing our seating policy. Maybe we want to assign seats, something we've never done before. Well, overnight, we had thousands of responses that said, hey, for the most part, we like your seating policy. We like to be able to pick our own seats. If it's not broke, don't fix it, et cetera. And so we actually took that in, and we still don't assign seats. We let people pick their own seats, pick who they get to sit next to, et cetera, on the plane. But what we did do was develop a boarding process by which we can more orderly board the plane in different groups. So following these same things, we're following Twitter. I'm sure everybody has seen some of the stories that come out based on Twitter. We've had our own that you have to take advantage of. Not all the stuff that's going to come out about your company or about individuals on Twitter is going to be necessarily positive. But what we want to do is to be able to respond back to that. If something went wrong, acknowledge it went wrong, acknowledge what you're going to do to remedy the situation, and give our employees that are out on the front lines the ability to do that. So you want to continue to connect with those people who are posting, who are reporting, who are blogging on a number of different things. The other item is we've been able to tweet out multiple times to get information about our operations. Everybody remembers last winter when we had some big snowstorms on the east coast of the U.S. and through the central U.S., we were able to put that out to have people check their flights before they show up at the airports because a number of airports were closed. The biggest thing is sharing our story. Southwest, we kind of like to have a little bit of fun every now and then, so we have 4 people in our social media department that will run around and they will tweet everything they're doing all the time, from going to, press conferences, to sitting in class, to just doing their normal work. And they have a large following. Additionally, what are we doing? We talked about monitoring on the last slide a little bit. We do 24/7 monitoring of Facebook, Twitter, et cetera. And here are some of the tools that we use, from TweetDeck to Radian 6. But also what's very good is the mobile app, because people need to interpret everything that's said so far, and we take a look at all those. And it allows our individuals, whether they're at work, at home, or anywhere else, to take a look at those. And it's not just the 4, but it could be anybody from the communications department, could be anybody on the executive team, or anybody else that you want to. We actually enable multiple employees throughout our organization to go ahead and have a Twitter account and be able to post on Twitter for us as we're doing that, along with our blogs. We've got a number of different internal and external blogs. The interesting thing is when we get a question or a comment, we can tweet stuff back. And now we can provide links to videos. We have a YouTube channel, et cetera, where we've been able to show people that have questions or concerns about weird noises they hear or something else. Here's what really you're hearing, and here's what you're doing. We had an incident with a Gasper fan made a loud noise on a plane once, and we were able to actually show this is what it is, this is what it does, it's only one, and we actually had our maintenance individual, Steve, walk through all that and show people what a Gasper fan was and what it was doing, so that was kind of interesting. And we had lots of hits. To go along with this, we've had a number of different items that we've, as everybody likes to do marketing, we have a number of different marketing events that we started. Number one, our new Rapid Rewards launch in March actually started on Twitter and Facebook several months before that. So we were able to take a look at what the comments and concerns are so we could continue to address those prior to the actual launch, to the full market launch. Another couple things we've done is very high response rate on some of the sales that we've had. I'm not sure if everybody understands, but a couple times a year over the last few years, we've had some pretty significant sales. Sales offering seats on our aircraft for about $35 one way. And we launched several of those via both YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And so the response there was tremendous. Now, just take into account $35, our average fare is about $135.20 US. The average length of a trip one way is about 900 miles. So if you take a look at just our regular fare, that sounds pretty good. But if you take a look at what those sales are, it can be pretty tremendous. And so we've had a great turnout on those and great response. We also have had a couple incidents that we've been able to respond to over and over again, not over and over again, but respond over and over on Twitter and Facebook, where we had back in 2009, we had a decompression within an aircraft where we had a pop skin. And we were able to get on that right away, be able to acknowledge it as an executive team and take the steps and get it word back out to everybody that everybody's family was safe and they were already on the ground and all those type of things with the help of our social media. Now we have an emerging media team, but as part of our communications team, we also have a number of predetermined events and how we're going to use it, what we're going to do in case you have emergencies, in case you have other notification events that you want to do. And it's that combination of our employees in the communications department, marketing department, and customer relations that all get together, and they've pre-decided on those, so when something happens, you can really understand that. But bottom line is, don't be afraid to join your conversation. Join the conversations with your customers and your employees, because you'll get a lot of the best ideas from your employees, especially if it's brand-centric, brand-related. We were able to notice, again, as we were thinking about changing seating, flight times, all these type of things, that our employees came right out and said, no, that's not something Southwest would do. And we took their input in it, and quite frankly, that's the same thing that we get from our customers. Don't do this, don't make those changes. And the last part is really try to have fun with it. It's not something laborious, et cetera. I'm not sure how many of you do Twitter or on Twitter, do tweet or Facebook, any of those type things. But we have a fair number of people internally that do it. And it's really about having fun. It's about taking yourself and letting other people know what you're doing. So with that, thank you.